Hi guys, welcome back to the Drive Live channel. In today's video we're going to be telling you all you need to know about the security features on your P3 Volvo. So starting with the basics then, every P3 Volvo came with two of these. We call them car keys, Volvo calls them personal car communicators, and essentially they are what they say on the tin, they're the car key. So pretty simply we've got our unlock, lock, lights, which obviously turns on the lights, boot release, and then we have here our panic button. Now this is very handy if ever you're in sort of under threat, or you see people around your car who perhaps you don't really want to be hanging around your car. For example, I've used it when I've seen people leaning on my car in a car park. What you do is you press and hold that button there, and suddenly there you go, it sets off the horn. Now that is much louder than the standard alarm, and it's really useful for sort of getting people to get the hell away from your car. For example, if you're in a dark car park at night and someone approaches you, and you can just press that button and suddenly it's going to spook them a bit. So a handy little thing to know. Now Volvo did have the intelligent car key system as well, which was on a recent S80 V8 that I reviewed. That had a little information button. It could tell you the status of the car with different lights in the corners. So it could tell you if the car was unlocked, locked, but it could also tell you whether there was someone in the car, using a heartbeat sensor located inside the car, which was pretty cool indeed. In addition to the remote fob, we also have the key blade, which can be used for releasing the boot manually or releasing the driver's door. All you need to do is slide this metal piece across, it releases the key blade here, and you can do it one-handed. Look, it's nice and easy. The key blade, like I said, can be used to release the boot lid or to operate the driver's window, the driver's door lock. If for any reason your battery's failed or the key battery fails, it's handy. You can also use this key to release the car, put it in neutral in the transmission tunnel as well, which I've covered in previous videos. Now each of these keys has a immobiliser, a unique immobiliser for each key. So if you do lose one, you tend to have to go to Volvo, and they can be quite expensive. But so the good thing is that the car is completely immobilised until you put it in the slot, and obviously the immobiliser reader is located in the slot. Now within the settings of the car itself, you've got quite a few different options on how you would like to set up the car. For example, you have your car key memory, which memorises all of the seat and mirror positions for each key. So for example, that key is remembered to mine, Mrs. DL's key is got her settings as well. But on car settings, we can adjust the way that we have the locks. So we've got automatic lock, which comes on over 10 miles per hour. That's quite a handy feature. However, if you're quickly, for example, I dropped off my girlfriend the other day to put something in bin, drove around the corner, and suddenly it was then locked again. She couldn't get in, so it can be a little bit annoying. You can also adjust the way the locks open when you unlock the car. Now in sort of dodgy places, you can choose to have so it only opens the driver's door. What that means is that when you unlock the car, only the driver's door unlocks, meaning that the door closest to you is the only one that you can get to, which stops anyone else getting in any of the other doors while you're sort of approaching the car, which can be handy in certain scenarios. Another interesting little thing that I would just check when you buy one, or if you've never checked it before, is in the information options on the car settings screen, click enter and click the number of keys. This will tell you how many keys are registered to the car. Now I know of a few people who have seen numbers as high as 3, 4 and 5, and they only actually own 2 of the keys, meaning that there are actually 2 or 3 keys out there, probably belonging to previous owners or dealerships, etc., that exist, that could potentially get access to your car. So obviously you want to keep this number of keys as low as possible, preferably to the amount that you have. Now if you ever have to use the key blade to enter the car by unlocking the door manually, the alarm will sound, and all you need to do to turn that off is put the main remote fob into the dashboard. That will disable the alarm and allow you to start the car. Now, interestingly, you don't have to have the two attached, which is handy in winter because you can actually lock all of the doors with the car running, which is handy, and I've covered that in a number of previous videos too. This keyblade can also be used inside the cabin to lock the glove box, and certain Volvo models also had a system called privacy locking, which is more common in the United States. You can see here that's now locked, whereby if you lock the glove box, it would also lock the boot as well, which is quite a handy little tip for if you're ever sort of giving your car to a valet. You can just make sure that they can only get in sort of the doors. They can't get into the boot if you have anything valuable in there. Also won't be able to get into the glove box as well. Carrying on inside the car, you've got the unique quirk that Volvos have, where you actually have locking buttons on both sides of the car. For example, here is the driver's side where I can lock and unlock the car, but then we also have them on the passenger side. Now, I like this feature because it means that if I leave someone in the car, or someone wants to stay in the car for any reason, they can actually lock and unlock the car. It's also handy if you get out yourself to get something out of the boot and there's someone in the passenger seat and you haven't unlocked the boot, then they can actually release it with that button there, unlocking it, allowing you to open the boot from the outside at the back. Nice and handy indeed. Now, from the key, you can also actually drop all of the windows and close all the windows. All you need to do is press and hold the unlock button for around 4 seconds, and the Volvo will then open all of its windows. You can then lock it again by essentially doing the same thing with the lock button. Press and hold that lock button and the car will lock itself. Now, the car will automatically lock itself as well if you open or unlock the car, don't open any doors. It will then lock itself again within 2 minutes of you pressing the unlock button. So it's worth knowing, or I might explain, if you're talking to someone, you unlock the car, it may lock itself again. Now, you may notice that my mirrors open and close. This is again set up in the settings. You can disable it. I know a lot of people in Scandinavian countries prefer their mirrors not to operate on the key, to protect them sort of being damaged by being stuck with snow and ice. So that can all be changed in the settings as well. Finally then, we have our alarm system. The alarm sets after you obviously lock the car from the key. Note that locking the car with the keyblade won't automatically set the alarm, so bear that in mind if your key for some reason stops working, so the car won't be alarmed. Now, we have our alarm indicator up here, and it normally takes between 30 seconds to a minute to set the alarm, and that will be sort of denoted by a slow flash on the indicator here. Now, the only time that this won't happen is if the alarm has gone off, and then when you return to the car and press unlock, that will be flashing quickly, and that will tell you that the alarm's actually been activated while you've been gone. Now, this car has a volumetric alarm as well as a tilt sensor, and obviously sensors inside the car. So it could be that someone's bashed into the side of it, it could be that there's been an earthquake or something ridiculous, or it could be that there's something inside the car, sometimes normally a fly, or if the doors don't lock properly. For example, I've got a slightly dodgy door, that can also set the alarm off as well because the car isn't secure, so just bear that in mind. But if you ever need to leave a pet or anything inside the car, you can do so and stop the alarm going off just by turning the ignition off, and then you'll be asked to whether you want to do reduce guard or not. Now, if your car doesn't give you that option to start off with, all you need to do is go into the menu here, go down to car settings, reduce guard, and you can either activate it once or you can ask on exit, which is what I prefer to do. So yeah, those are just a few handy little features, security features built into these P3 Volvos. This is probably a part one. There are tons of these built in, and I'll try and cover them as much as I can. But yeah, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. We'll see you next video. Cheers.